Psychologists call it theory of mind. A child at a very early age, 2 years old, even younger sometimes, has the unique ability among animals of imagining what the other person is thinking. And we take that for granted because we use it all the time. But no other animal that we know, except perhaps dolphins and chimpanzees to some degree, have that ability. It's incredibly powerful, the ability to put yourself in the shoes, the body, the head of another person. Now, children, as they get older, feel social pressure to kind of fit into a group, and they become more self-absorbed, as we all do as we get older, and less outer directed. So when you're 2 or 3 years old, you're very attuned to your mother or your father and their emotions and their moods. But then as you get older, you become less observant, you become more self-absorbed. So you need to turn that around, and you need to understand that social skill is a matter of a sensitivity to the psychologies, to the moods, to the experiences of other people. And you're not paying attention. You need to be aware of that. Okay, you need to be aware that most of the time, when you look at your spouse, when you look at your children or your boss, you're projecting your own emotions, your own phobias, your own childhood problems onto them. You're seeing reflections of your own emotional hangups. So you're not really looking at people. You're not really observing them. You don't really understand their experience and what makes them different. While they're talking and blabbing on about their problems and their day, we're in our head and we're thinking about our own problems, our own issues, our own ideas that we want to tell them, because we find that more interesting than what they have to say. The reason we don't listen to other people is we find ourselves more interesting than what the other person has to say. You're never going to become a good listener if you're trapped in that kind of paradigm. You need to flip it around and start thinking that other people are actually fascinating. So, for instance, you've been married to this woman or man for 10 years. Tell yourself that you don't really know them. Begin with that premise. Your goal is to find out something new that you never understood or saw in them before, to start paying attention to their nonverbal communication. It's the fine level of your attention, how you're attuned to the look in their eye, to the tone in their voice, to when they get excited by certain subjects. Get them to talk about their childhood. Everybody loves to talk about their childhood and about special moments that happen, and notice any kind of excitement in the eyes or something that makes them very emotional, either good or bad, and start paying attention to these things that you never noticed before. And if you can just do that once a day with whoever it is, you'll start to see that it's actually very powerful. You'll have less drama, you'll have less arguments, you'll have less conflict in life.
Improvement Pill here. I want to piggyback off of what Robert Greene is saying and give you an additional tip, a visualization exercise that will help you listen better. I want you to imagine that there is a person watching a movie. Now, most of the time, your consciousness is this person, and it is focused on your movie. When interacting with others, you are essentially being invited into their movie theater to watch their movie. But what most of us do is we bring our phones in with us, pull it out underneath the seat, and secretly watch our movie at the same time. You might think the other person doesn't notice, but they do. It's pretty obvious. The key to becoming a better listener is to learn how to put down the phone and become fully immersed as if you were watching a jaw-dropping Grammy Award-winning movie at an actual theater. If you can get yourself into this mindset, you will naturally find yourself asking the right questions as you're now genuinely curious about the development of their character. If you do this, you will stand out. Because if you think about it, how many people do you speak with on a regular basis that watch your movie with 100% of their focus? Like when you talk to them, you can tell that they really, really care about what you're going to say next. Usually the only people who do this are your family, best friends, and loved ones. So it's actually very rare, which means if you listen to people like you're watching a movie, you will become extremely memorable. People will want to come back and interact with you again because they know that when they do, they will feel as if they matter. They will feel as if their movie is actually worth watching. If you want to watch the entire Robert Greene interview where he goes over a lot more about addiction, his life story, and self-improvement in general, I'd suggest you head on over to my friend Brian J. Roberts' channel by clicking on the link in the description box below. This episode is brought to you with the help the guys over at Morning Brew. Morning Brew is a free daily newsletter that arrives in your email inbox from Mondays to Saturdays. They compile the most important news of the day into a simple and easy to read email that you can consume in less than 5 minutes. Last week, they updated me on how they finally passed a stimulus bill in the US and how vaccines are currently rolling out around the country and also in other major countries around the world. And to top that off, they informed me about the Apple car rumors, which is huge news for anyone who dabbles in investing. Morning Brew is completely free with no strings attached, and it only takes 15 seconds to sign up. Just click on a link in the description box below and enter your email, and that's it. You'll start receiving a daily newsletter. Sign up for Morning Brew today. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.